Now we're looking at the piece Dandansoy, and assuming you wanted to play this one, so you have a big question: how can I play this piece? Now here's a tip. First that you're going to do is to look at the key signature. This is what I'm talking about. This is the key signature. Yeah, this is the key signature. The accidentals, two flats near the clef, and that would mean that you are in the key of B flat major. And if you're not acquainted with that, you can go back and look at my video about how to play the piano, and this is on the topic key signature. Now, to cut this short, this symbol here would mean that whatever is the pitch that is assigned to this line and to this space, like in G clef, the flat is placed on the third line, and that is the place for the B. So you have a B flat, and the fourth space here, space 1 2 3 4, the fourth space is the place for the E flat. So it would mean the same to your bass clef, because over here on the second line, that's the B line, so it will become a B flat. And for the third space, that's for the E pitch, so it will also mean that you have B flat and E flat. So what would that indicate? Now, for the whole piece, it means that if ever you see a note on that line, it will automatically become a flat note. So like this is B, so that is B flat. Let's find another B. B, 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 B. No, there's no B, and instead the natural sign appeared. So it means that this flat would not affect this. So this will just be played as the normal B instead of a B flat, because it is saved by the natural sign that cancels the effect of that B flat, and there's no more B to flat. Na? Okay, now there's another flat there. That's the E flat. So it would mean that if ever we see an E all over the piece, that will not be played as natural E, but instead we are going to play it as E flat. So here we go. That's an E flat, and let's look for another E flat. E flat. There's another E flat, and no more, and that's it. And the next thing to do, we have identified that we are in the key of B flat major. So the next thing we have to recognize is the time signature. We are in 3/4. So automatically, if we are in 3/4, then it's like we set a clock that takes only for 3 counts. 1 2 3, 1 2 3, and let's give no room for extensions of the 3. So let's not prolong the 3 when we count, so we should just continue 1 2 3, 1 2 3, 1 2 3, 1 2 3. But we have a special case here. It does not really start with the first beat. You see there are only 2 notes here, and we should have 3 counts, right? But here it started with just 2 notes, so the total would just be second and third count, and 1 count is missing because it is ended here. So like this song started with the second beat, not the first beat, not the last beat of the song, but on the second beat. Okay, so we have recognized that this is in 3/4. So this will be wait, I forgot to shade this one. It should be shaded. I should shade it with a marker book. Here we go. So next thing to do is to identify the pitch name of each. If you do not know yet how to play them from the memory. So this is D. Okay. So in case it's difficult to recall, you can have a guide like this. You draw 5 lines. And then you do like this. Hook. And all the space notes can just be spelled as face. Your face sounds familiar. And the line notes. So all the lines have an assigned pitch name. So let's start from the line below the 5 lines, which is called the ledger line. This is your C. This is your E, your G, your B, your D, and your F. Letter C, E, G, B, D, F. And if it's confusing to remember, you can assign, right? Every girl and boy does fine. Because I don't agree that it will just be every good boy does fine, because it's gender bias. Okay, so here we go, because we're just going to find out the letter names for the right hand, so we have a quick guide over there. Okay, that's the D, right? Because on the space here, if that is C, then this would be D. So that's D, D. And over here, on the fourth line, that's a higher D for the does. So that's a higher D. And that's A. Second space, that's A. And then third line, who's the third line? It's the boy, so it's a B. And we have identified that it's not just a pure B, it's a B flat, because it gets affected by the flat over here that is from your key signature. Otherwise, if the key signature will not be set here, then the flats can appear on each of the notes and it's gonna be crowded, I guess. So let's move on. So that's B flat, and this is G, this is D, and then that's E flat, and then this is C. And this means that it is tied to here. Now they are at the same line. So when you have a tied note, it means that you're just going to play this one. Usually it should just be 3 counts without the curve line, but since you tied it to a 1 count note, it means that you just press this once, but you add 1 more count because of this. Yes, and then this is still C, and then this is D, and then this is higher C, this is A, this is B, this is A. Oh, sorry, that's not B, that's a D. And this is A, B flat, G, and also like that, it's tied to another G, so the counting would be +1, right? 3 plus 1. And then you have here D, D, and then you have, what is this? This is G, G, G. And then, so here we are in the B, and since we have that natural, this will not adopt the effect of the flat. It will just be a B. And then you have here C, D, C, and then you have E flat again, and then a C, and then this is D, 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 and then that's F sharp, and then you have G, A, and you have G, and it's a tie again to G. And wait, we forgot this one. This one also is tied to another C. Yes, and that's the end of the piece. So far we have done three things. We identified the key signature, the time signature, the pitch name. Next move is to identify the counting. So where exactly are we going to count each note? So again, I mentioned earlier that we started on the second beat, so let's have it this way. And by the way, the piece have irregular note, so it's like not a whole count. It consists of broken count, like one half and one half, so it's not whole count, except if it's just made up of quarter notes and half notes and whole notes. But here we have that we have the presence of notes which are counted as one half count. So with this, we are not going to simply count the piece as just 1 2 3 1 2 3. It will be safer if we are going to count with the word and. Okay, so here we go. So since we started with the second beat, so this will be our 2 and this is our 3 and this is 2 counts all in all. So here alone, when we press that one, that would be 1 and 2 and, right? And this will be our 3 and 1 and 2 and this is 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and. So you get to press your note here for that long. After the 3 and, you still get to put it, stay down, no, not put it again down, but just stay down for one more count before you press again for this 2 and 3 and then here we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 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 1 and 2 and 3 and. So that's a 3, and this is the and we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Yes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and. Wait, I got it wrong. This is not part of it because we end with 1 and, but we start with 2 and 3 and. So let's correct this one. It's just up to 1 and. Okay, so that's the fourth thing we need to do, and we are still just on the right hand. Yes, and so the next thing to do is to play it. Okay, now for convenience sake, I added finger numbers to use when you play the piece. That is for convenience, but that's just a recommended fingering on the top. If there are other fingering finger pattern you would like to use which is more convenient, then feel free to do so. So here we go. We have done so far. We have identified the key signature, the time signature, the pitch names for each note, and then we have also placed the counting so that we know how to count it. And then so that's the fourth, and the fifth is identify the which finger to use to play. So we have there, when you see 1, then that's the thumb. When you see 2, This is 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Okay, now, so here we go. We are ready. So we'll just be playing on this middle octave that's on the middle of the keyboard. And here we go. So since our beginning note starts in D, so let's start it here, and let's just extend if ever the next note gets too far, and let's just extend like that. So like when we start with bum. And that was just all for the right hand. What about the left hand? So if you notice, there are chords placed on top, so that will be a reference for the accompaniment because we're going to accompany it in chord style. So here for the G minor, your notes are, okay, you have a guide here, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have the bass clef. All cows eat grass, and then girls and boys does fine always. Yes, that's your guide, and we have our notes here. This is girls and boys does, yes, and it's the same, girls and boys does, and this is all cows eat grass, right? Eat grass. Cows eat grass, eat grass. Cows eat grass, eat grass. Now cows eat grass. And then for the D minor, you have a D, and then you have A and D. Now D, A, D. And then you have that D, A, D. Then back to G, B, D. And then that's just a G. And this is G, B, D again. And then you have here G, but then wait, the rest of the B's there will have to be flat, right? That's a flat, 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 yeah, flat, except for this one because of the natural sign, it will be a cancelled, so it will just be G, B, D, C, E, G, C, E, G. This is G, B, D, D, A, D, and G, B, D, G, B, D, and D, A, G. Yes, and so conforming to the time signature, then we are just going to play that left hand like this. For the G minor, it will just be the lower G here. Okay, that's the middle C. And why did it change? Okay, so that's the middle C, and then here's the G, and then you're supposed to be playing the B flat and then the D. So Dandansoy, and the counting is just 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and, okay, so just follow measure number 1, nothing. So we will start playing the accompaniment on measure number 2. Dandansoy, bayaan da ikaw. Wait, so we'll be playing the G quite low here because it's written down low, like 2 octaves lower from the middle C. Wait, let's take a look at it this way. Okay, so here, that's where you are. In the G, then B flat, D. Dandansoy bayaan ta ikaw uli pauli ako sa payaw kung ugaling ikaw. So there, you see the change in the chords from G major to G minor. Ikaw mingawon ang payaw imo lang lantawon. Okay, so I missed to put here the E's should be flat, huh? The E should be flat because it gets affected by that E flat there. Yep, okay. So let's play this thing with both hands. Okay, here we are. We're going to play this with both hands. So first things first, you need to position your fingers before you start playing. So here we are. The thumb should be in the G, and then the pinky is ready or they're already in the G, just waiting on the D, just waiting to be pressed down. Okay, and the left hand is just on standby on the G, 2 octaves lower than the middle C, and here, and it's gonna start it's gonna be playing the G, B flat, D. Okay, ready? 1. Dandansoy bayaan ko ikaw only. Then you reach for the lower D there. Pauli, sorry. Pauli ako sa payaw kung ugaling ikaw, right? Ikaw mingawon ang payaw imo lang lantawon. Okay, I'm gonna play one more time. Position. Dandansoy bayaan ko ikaw pauli ako sa payaw kung ugaling ikaw sorry kung galing sorry kung ugaling kung ikaw mingawon ang payaw imo lang lantawon. Okay, that's our very easy tutorial.